Marvel Rivals has a support problem, but is that actually a bad thing? Today's video, we're going to be talking about supports and support design in Marvel Rivals and how they were able to solve and tackle one of the most difficult things to do in the hero shooter genre. Something that we were told for years was not possible. That, hey, everybody in the hero shooter genre, and if anybody was around in the Overwatch scene, you know this was a big story when talking about going to role queue, is that, hey, no matter what we do, people are only going to want to play DPS, and that's just the bottom line. People don't want to play support and tank. It is what it is. But Marvel Rivals and even Overwatch and some of their later designs as well have proven that to be completely false. So supports are insane in Marvel Rivals. They're crazy. They're over the top. They have some of the most busted mechanics that anybody's really ever seen in the hero shooter genre. But that's also why the game has been so successful, and that's also why the support pick rates in a lot of these games are significantly higher than they were, for example, in original Overwatch. And a big reason for that is a lot of the designs are over the top, unique, and attractive to casual players. It's no secret. I think Marvel Rivals is a much more casual game than Overwatch is. It just is. It really just is. And maybe that'll change with Stadium. That's not a knock towards Overwatch. I think they're both targeted towards different things while they're in the same genre, and that's very, very good. But how approachable and OP the support role is in this game is a big reason why so many people are willing to actually play the role. And if you're going to be in an open queue format, especially with no global regen passive, you have to make the support role be attractive to average players. And they absolutely nailed that. If you just look at some of the mechanics that a lot of these supports have, like, we're going to get to Rocket Raccoon in a bit. Actually, there was a Rocket Raccoon in One Above All that had a negative win rate. And I'd love to hear your all's thoughts on whether or not that's the ranking system or the actual hero design. We'll get to it in a moment. But look at a character like Loki, who I think is the coolest support I've ever seen in a game. Those kind of mechanics where, dude, you can put down 2 clones of yourself and they'll shoot where you shoot, and you can drop a runestone that makes healing turn into damage or damage turn into healing, and you know, you can swap places between you can go invisible. It's an insane character design. It's absolutely nuts, and he's been really, really good for about a year straight now since the first alpha of Marvel Rivals dropped last May. He's been a crazy strong character, but he also gets played a lot because of that unique identity that's fun to players. And if you look at original, we're going to compare this to Overwatch, like original Overwatch to start, when people were saying, oh, well, nobody wants to play support. Compare the designs of Lucio, which were super innovative for their time, by the way. Lucio, Mercy, Ana, Zen, who else? There was like one other. What am I blanking on here about supports of the time? Was Symmetra support back then? I think she was. But the designs were way more lackluster compared to the DPS designs, as much as I love Ana, compared to the release of Marvel Rivals, where you have Loki, Luna Snow, who can put a snowflake on her teammate, and, you know, you're on your DPS and heal your tank, and you're automatically going to pocket a Mantis who can, you know, build their life spores off critical hits and then sleep and do damage and do all this stuff. Like, the supports of Marvel Rivals, at least at its launch, and granted, this is 10 years later, right? But this is why they iterated, and this is not, modern Overwatch doesn't have this problem anymore either, because their new supports are there as well. So this is not a knock at Overwatch at all, but, like, look at how crazy these designs are and how appealing they are. Like, if you're an average player at home, like, you know, you've seen such a massive casual audience come into Marvel Rivals. As broken as these supports can be sometimes, it's also what made the game successful and how they're able to get people to play support, because the designs are so over the top and fun that an average player can get on and be like, holy shit, this is nuts. Rocket Raccoon can run around on the walls. He's very easy to pick up and heal everybody. He's got a res beacon. He's got crazy team-ups with Bucky and Punisher, and you know, it's approachable, it's crazy, and it feels rewarding to play, to go around and do this crazy stuff. Sue Storm's the same way. Cloak and Dagger, swapping between your forms. They kind of like combined, like, it's insane. It's insane what these characters do. Adam Warlock with his Soul Link, also crazy. Like, these abilities are busted, but they made it much more fair by giving the DPS role, and I think the tank's a little bit less, but really the DPS role, unlike, you know, Overwatch at its, you know, when the immortality started coming in, right? The DPS also have iframes. Star-Lord has invincibility frames, right? Bucky is getting shields for using his abilities, right? Everything in this game is over the top insane. And while a lot of people, including myself sometimes, I think the supports need to get tuned down, some of them, right? Like, I think Rocket's healing's a little bit too much. But the designs themselves are what made the game special and what made the game successful. So for all the people saying, yo, these shouldn't be immortalities, they shouldn't do all this stuff, I agree. I think support ults can get looked at. It'd be cool to see more ults not be press Q and live forever. I think Sue Storm's ult should have been like slight healing for your team, but heal mitigation for the teams that come in to the shield, so that if you use it on the point and there's a Luna ult, hey, you might be able to kill through. That'd be a really cool interaction. I'd love to see that change. I think that would make the game way more interesting, because you could still heal your team a little bit through it, but like if they got heal mitigation, it'd be crazy cool, right? So yeah, that's really, really awesome to me to see something like that happen if it does end up happening. But, you know, these designs are not the issue, in my opinion. This is coming from somebody who's had a big problem with supports in Overwatch, and frankly, I was really scared about supports in this game as well. But in the open queue format, when everybody said you'll never get anybody to queue support, everybody wants to play DPS, no, they want to play a fun product. And Marvel Rivals did such a great job of making these supports really, really unique and fun. I don't think I've ever had more fun playing support in a game than playing support in Rivals, when I'm just like, you know, I see myself getting on, maybe when I'm playing Ana, because I love playing Ana in Overwatch, but dude, when I'm playing Loki was like one of my favorite characters to play in the alpha and the betas, because he's just insane. And he still is insane. Even post-nerf, he's still insane. Like, the different setups you can do, the different approaches you have to the fight, where you can set up your clones. Like, it's a super thought-intensive design. And a lot of the supports are like that. A lot of them are. Sue Storm is a lot like that. Like, it's insane, like, how you have to think about the boop and then using your ult. And, like, I love playing Mantis, too. She feels so rewarding to play, where you're just chucking out damage, and the headshots reward you with more healing and damage boosts, and sleeps. You can hit 2 on the flankers. It's nuts. Absolutely nuts. And it feels like you're playing a character that's not, oh, I'm just going to sit here and heal. Well, like, there is a lot of healing abilities in the game, and there's an enormous amount of healing in Rivals, but it doesn't feel like you're just heal botting. It doesn't. It feels like you're trying to set things up, use your utility. Like, all of these characters have insane utility, and I think the game is better off leaning into that than it is just getting rid of, like, you know, certain abilities or making the designs much more bland, right? And that's something that I've changed my mind on after a year of playing this game. That craziness is what they're after, and that's what makes hero shooters fun. Overwatch 2 is the perfect example of what not to do with this. Well, everybody sat there and they said, and to be fair, post perks update, this is not true anymore, but for the first 2 years, of Overwatch 2, the whole thing was, oh, we're making the game simple, it's too complicated for people. And my response was, no, guys, like, hey, the complication is what makes it unique from a game like Call of Duty or a very casual, bare-bones shooter. It's supposed to be over the top. It's supposed to be a steakhouse, right? We should get more DPS characters that do this crazy stuff. More, you know, not water the game down and make the gameplay loop much more simple. Like, the complications and the craziness is what attracts people to this genre. And Marvel Rivals is proof of this, and so is the Overwatch 2 perks update as well. That's what people want. They want more on their plate for the hero shooter genre, because if you take less away, or you take more away and you make it less, now you're just playing Call of Duty. Now you're removing what makes this genre special. I think team ups have proven that. I think the crazy designs and success of Marvel Rivals have proven that, and I think the success of the Overwatch 2 perks update have also proven that point. So yes, Marvel Rivals has a support problem. A lot of the supports are like really, really good, and you do see some players like that one Rocket who is in one above all with a negative win rate, which shouldn't happen. Like, just should not be possible. If you're going to be one above all, you need to have a 55 to 60% win rate. No way otherwise. Like, and this is a problem, I think, with the ranked system, not necessarily like the actual support design. The support design is what enables it as well. But that's a problem I'm willing to have if it makes people want to play the support role in the open queue format without a global region passive. Because if you don't make that role appealing, if you don't have people playing support, the game's not going to be that much fun. And support into this game is a much more fun role to fill into than it was in its predecessors. And I think that's a huge reason why you see the support pick rates on an open queue format for launch be as high as they are in this genre, in this game, which you can see on their website compared to previous other games where people are saying, oh, people don't want to play support. I don't see that at all. Like, most of my games that I played, people played support. I know people are like, oh, the 5 DPS games. I'm sure it happens, but I don't see it happen a lot. And that's not just, and I've done a couple unranked GMs where I've gone through the ranks. People play support quite a bit in this game, and it's because of these wacky, OP, fun designs that I think they should lean more into when designing supports in the future than lean away from, like a lot of people who are complaining about the supports have said. And this is something that I have said as well, where I do think they can tune down some of the OP supports. I'm not saying certain supports shouldn't get nerfed, but I think they've nailed the core design of this. And while they do have a support problem, they solved an even bigger problem by making these cool designs. And I'd much rather be in the boat that we're in now with these fun, over-the-top characters than I would be if everything got nerfed and DPS were just running amok, killing everything. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the Marvel Rivals support problem. I think that if there's a problem right now, it's because they solved one of the most difficult issues to solve when launching a game, especially in the hero shooter genre, in that, hey, your support role needs to be appealing so people want to play it. And man, they nailed that. But where do you guys think the needle sits? You guys tell me down in the comments. I'm very curious what you think. I'm really, really happy about where Marvel Rivals has started to go. Again, like the start of season 1 was not that great, but I think just like slowly reining things in the second half of season 1 was much, much better. And I'm excited to see what they do in season 2. I'd love to see some sort of heal mitigation mechanic potentially come in as well. That could be very, very cool. We're looking at you, Blade. I'm hoping Blade is really cool. Maybe some lifesteal mechanic. That would be crazy. The vampire hunters, that'd be insane. Insane. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. What are you looking forward to the most in Rivals? Do you think there's a big support problem? And if there is, how would you solve it? Let me know down in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch y'all next time. Take care. Much love. Peace out.